The second half of the budget session has been a complete washout. To talk about that, I am in conversation with Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Sir, many thanks for talking to us. Every minute where the parliament does not function, it costs the exchequer close to 2 lakh rupees. That's a huge amount, given the fact that our country is dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of problems. As a member of the All India Professional Congress, talk to us about who is really responsible when politics takes the better of economics?
First of all, this is a national disgrace. What has happened is absolutely unacceptable and shameful. And you're right, it's costing the nation large sums of money just to keep Parliament open and functioning, the staff, the workers, the production of papers, everything else. So it's really costing a colossal amount of money. We have created a culture in the last 10 or 15 years in which disruption is considered, in the words of the present ruling party's ministers, a legitimate form of parliamentary performance. Now, to my mind, that culture was wrong when the BJP was doing it in the opposition. It's wrong today when the ADMK is doing it. It'll be wrong tomorrow if anybody else does it. We really need to fix that. But what was particularly reprehensible in this particular episode was that the ruling party was getting its friends to disrupt Parliament so it didn't have to face the discomfort of debate. That is what is absolutely shocking. I don't think we've ever seen this in the history of our Parliament. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi was telling me in 20 years in Parliament she's never seen anything like this, where it is not the opposition that is agitating in the well of the Lok Sabha. It is initially parties that were part of the ruling coalition, the NDA, subsequently a party that is widely considered a partner of the BJP, namely the ADMK. For the last 18 days, culminating in today's complete washout of a closure, we had nothing but the ADMK, no one but the ADMK in the well of the House, with everybody else sitting in their seats trying to have a debate on a vote of no confidence. And the government brazenly blaming the opposition for something that they had engineered themselves.
But, in the run-up to 2019 elections, do you believe that this is going to be the norm in the upcoming parliament sessions as well? We may see situations like this arising, and given the fact that so many important bills could not really be taken up, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, the Triple Talaq Bill, the amendments to the Motor Vehicle Act, even the most important finance bill, I mean, that got passed with no without debate, without discussion. Do you believe this is going to be the norm going forward ahead of 2019 elections?
I certainly hope not, because if it is the norm going forward, we may as well scrap Parliament, because the entire purpose of Parliament is deliberative discussion. That's the substance of democracy, is that we discuss something in detail, we argue the points, we place, the whole argument for actually having television coverage of Parliament was to place before the nation what was being said in the House. And it's interesting, people do watch it. But now that all that's happening as a result of television coverage is the screaming and shouting, I just don't know what the purpose of this is going to be. To my mind, this cannot afford to become the norm. I think the government should actually call all the party leaders together and make a solemn commitment to each other that whoever is in power, whoever is in the opposition, this should never be allowed to happen.
While you are saying that the government should reach out to the opposition parties, we have seen that at least, not the government, but the Rajya Sabha chairman, even the Lok Sabha chairman, they called for a discussion with all the parties. What was the rationale behind the impasse? What was it? What was the main reason that, all the political parties could not come to a consensus? So at least let the business of the House continue.
Well, I can't speak for the Rajya Sabha since I don't sit in it. But in the Lok Sabha, there is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that the opposition wanted a discussion. We know we'll lose the vote because the BJP has a crushing majority in the Lok Sabha. But we felt that this was an opportunity to lay before the nation a long charge sheet, an indictment, as it were, of the failures of this government across the board. That's what a vote of no confidence would have enabled us to do. We could have taken everything from the banking scam to farmers' distress to foreign policy failures to issues relating to domestic disputes like the Andhra Pradesh special package, the Kaveri management. There's so many issues which so many parties are exercised about. It could have been a comprehensive debate. That's what the government didn't want. And the reluctance of the government to actually have these issues laid out before the nation is what lay behind the disruption. The Speaker, I'm sorry to say this, the Speaker need not have allowed one party's shouting members to prevent the House from functioning. She had on previous occasions expelled 5 Congress members, resulting in the remaining Congress people walking out. She had not one occasion, 2 occasions, and on a third occasion she had expelled members of another party. But since this particular disruption suited the government, she allowed the disruption to quote-unquote succeed, rather than by simply taking firm action to end it.
But the Congress party, given the fact that it's the largest opposition party, shouldn't it have been the Congress's responsibility as well to reach out to other regional parties to ensure that if there is a no confidence motion that has been passed, at least there should be quorum in the House so that the discussion can take place?
There is a quorum in the House. In fact, we actually stood up and showed the Speaker with numbered placards, and there were 99 of us ready to stay and debate. So there was no problem of the quorum in the House. The problem is that the genuine opposition was not the problem. The problem is this is a proxy. We've heard about proxy voting for NRIs that the government is trying to push. This is proxy disruption. This is the ADMK disrupting on behalf of the BJP.
And my last question before I let you go, will we at all see opposition unity ahead of the 2019 elections? I know it's $1 million question. Nobody still knows there's a lot of time ahead of the 2019 elections. But do you believe that perhaps, given what's happening across the country, probably we may see the opposition coming together and become a force to reckon with against the Modi government, against the NDA in 2019?
There's a broad understanding across the opposition parties that given the way in which the BJP has performed in recent state elections, that it is only unity of the opposition that gives them a real challenge. Where there is only a straight fight between 2 parties, as we saw in Gujarat, as we're going to see largely in Karnataka, with the exception of South Karnataka, with the JDS as a presence, as we're going to see in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, where really it's between the Congress and the BJP, that's a different matter. But in states like UP, like Bihar, and many other states, it's become very clear that opposition forces do themselves a disservice by dividing the vote. So if they want to really teach the BJP a lesson, which they all claim to want to do, they need to come together, and most opposition parties understand this. Of course, as you said rightly, it'll take time. There are ego issues, there are political agendas. We'll have to see how that plays out.
All right. On that note, many thanks for taking your time out and speaking to us at TT Now. Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.